So today we are going to do this module. You'll have a pen and paper in front of you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay.
Yes,
only
ma'am.
only the difficult words we'll be writing, and some of them you can find out for yourself as well. Before that, I'd like to show you something else. Um, Yesterday we did this, right? We did the table layout. This is called table setting or table layout. I explained to you that this is your main dish or main entree plate. This is the napkin which you're supposed to remove and either put it on your lap, or for the men they sometimes put it in the collar. When you fold your napkin and put it back, it means your lunch or dinner is over. If you keep it at the side, fold it, it's over. If it's in a crumpled state, means you're still eating. This is your bread and butter plate, salt, pepper, your dessert spoon and dessert fork for ice cream or cake or whatever. This is your salad spoon. This is your main dish spoon. You have to place it in a line like this. This is your knife to eat. Anything that's round is a soup spoon. And this, again, number 5 is if you're eating seafood and you need to scoop something out, like a crab or a prawn, if you need to remove it. What we studied were the glasses. You have to know which glass is for what. You cannot serve wine in a normal glass, and you cannot serve whiskey in a wine glass. So today we'll see this. Can you see this? Can you see the wine glasses?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Yeah, so I'm sure all of you know a lot about wines and liquor, but still we'll go through it. This is the beer mug. Generally, beer is served in this or a very large glass. This is called a highball glass. In this, strong alcohols like whiskey, rum, gin, vodka are served. This is your cocktail glass. It's also used for champagne sometimes if there is no champagne glass. This is different from the wine glass. This shape is round like this. So you have to place your hand here and drink. This is only for brandy, because brandy is not supposed to be served chilled. It's supposed to be had at room temperature. So when you put your hand here, it keeps the brandy warm. So anybody who drinks brandy with ice or water, or it's wrong, you are generally drink brandy neat and at room temperature. This is called the flute. This is the champagne flute. Champagne is served in this generally. I think I can enlarge this. This is again a beer glass. A beer glass here. This is for tall drinks, mixed drinks. Like if you are mixing any alcohol with juice, they are called mixed drinks. If if the mixed drink has alcohol in it, it's called cocktail. If there is no alcohol, if there is mixed drinks, like juice or Sprite or whatever without alcohol, it's called a mocktail. Please write it down, the difference between a cocktail and a mocktail. MOCKTAIL. So mocktail is mixed drinks without liquor, cocktail is mixed drinks with liquor. So please make a note of that. So this is how the wines are served. The brandy is only served this much as your hand holds it. You do not fill the glass with brandy, you only pour this much. This is various ways of drinking which the foreigners drink. It's their way of life, it's their system of when they have their meals, they do not drink much of water like we Indians do. They drink different kinds of liquor and wine, especially wine. A lot of it is had with your meals. It's a different wine for starting, different wine for starters, different for main meal, different for a dessert. So you at least three types of wines they drink. If you're in the aircraft, you're in first class or you're in business class working, you'll have to serve all of these wines. If you're in the hotel industry, again you have to serve all these wines. You have to know which liquor goes in which glass. So for that, please one day Google and have a look. Again, they have different kinds here. Dry white wine, liqueur. Liqueur is the one that you have with dessert. The vodka glass. Whiskey glasses are generally wide and big. This is for the stronger wines. This is anything around is whiskey, is brandy. Cognac means brandy. This is your water. Beer there'll be a huge glass. Again, champagne. This is champagne glass. This is also champagne glass. So these are the. Okay. Any questions? No? Okay. So we proceed to the next. Today we'll deal with module 4. Cuisines in the world. Cuisines means different types of food. So the pronunciation is cuisines. Even though you may not eat or not like different kinds of food, you may be a vegetarian, you may be a non-vegetarian, you still have to know about food, what you are offering the guest. The reason being that if he asks you, does it have egg? Is it a vegetarian or is it a non-vegetarian? You have to know the ingredients that go with it. So we'll start with this. The first one, for all food fanatics out there, traveling is essential. If you want to taste everything the world has to offer, which we must taste and we must know the taste, you may like it or not like it, you may not repeat it, but you must know what it tastes like. That is why we have rounded up some of the most resounding symphonies of flavor, the most colorful dishes and the tasty bites. Here is your guide to the fascinating international cuisines. We first have the Lebanese cuisine. In Lebanon, in the Middle East, they have particular types of dishes. There's a lot of Lebanese joints today in India, and they serve, and a lot of people like it. So we'll see what goes with the Lebanese food. The Lebanese cuisine is a place where you can taste all the goodness of the Middle East has to offer. Foods are generally Mediterranean, high on vegetables, little meat, and full of flavors. Perhaps the most famous dish worldwide is their appetizer meze, a selection of dips, pickles, salads, and small nibbles with Arabic bread. It also includes an abundance of fruit, fresh fish, seafood, and animal fat. The country is also famous for the Arabic sweets. Tripoli is the city in Lebanon, is the capital, being referred to as the sweet capital of Lebanon. So let's see what is our meze. This is your vegetarian meze. It comes like this. This is Arabic bread. This is hummus, which they make out of chickpeas. You have salads. You have a different kind of bread as well. And these round are made out of peas, which are called falafel. You have the olives. They eat a lot of olives in the Middle East, which are supposed to be very, very healthy and very, very nice for your body and for your skin. So they have this green olives and your black olives. So this is your typical meze. It's plated like that. It comes in a plate like that. When they say Arabic meze or this, and this is a vegetarian meze, you probably would get even non-vegetarian meze. You would get different dips and you would get some chicken or to go with it. So this is your platter, looks like that. Okay? Then So you've seen Arabic bread, you've seen what is a meze also. Then we go to Greek cuisine. A lot of Indians traveling to Greece for holidays, honeymoons, and picturesque locations which are shown in the movies, especially Hindi movies. So a lot of people travel to Greece. Uh, we have a look at what the Greek cuisine is like. With a significant influence from the Turkish and Italian cuisine, the Greek cuisine is focused around olive oil, vegetables, and herbs specific to the Mediterranean region. Eating in Greece is a different experience from Greek restaurants in other countries. Gyros, for example, is considered by Greeks junk food. This is sometimes pronounced as gyros or gyros, both ways is okay. Restaurants now offer an authentic eating experience, being up to date with the latest culinary trends and stocked up with regional specialities. The taverna and Estia, sorry, Estiatorio is widespread, being places where you can find affordable, authentic cuisine. Let's have a look at the gyros and let's have a look about at the taverna. This is basically a gyro. It's a roti. It's a thick Arabic bread. They have all vegetables in it, as well as some salads, and they have meat, chicken. If you don't like, if you are a vegetarian, they will put falafel, that is the peas, the balls made out of the peas. They will make that, put that, and they will give it to you. So these are gyros. It's a meal in itself. Tavernas are small places in Greece to eat, where you get authentic Greece food. They are generally near the water or maybe enclosed. These are small taverns like restaurants. Okay? This is how a tavern looks like in Greece. This is typically in Greece. When you travel there, you can taste the food also. Again also, small, same way, it's an eatery basically. These are eateries, small eateries which you can see everywhere on the waterfront. Same here. So this is basically Greek food. You would, they use a lot of olive oil, they use a lot of herbs, they use a lot of garlic in their food. Food is tasty but bland. It's not spicy. None of these foods are spicy. Spice is mainly only in India. All masalas are in India. Then you come to the Spanish cuisine. For a lighter approach on food, we turn to the Spanish cuisine, containing a variety of meat and fish as well as vegetables. It is also influenced by the seafood available from surrounding waters. Since Spain is nearby to the sea, the Mediterranean Sea, all those countries would be high on seafood. Spanish cuisine uses most oil among all the Western and Central European dishes. Some of the cultures do not use oil. They do not use oil. They use very little oil and very little spice. So in Spanish they use more of olive oil. One of the most popular drinks in Spain that goes perfectly well with national dishes is sangria, a drink made of wine and fruits. Very, very famous drink. This is, most of the people ask for sangria when they go to drink. It is made out of wine and fruits mixed together. So we'll see Spanish cuisine again. You have the traditional dish. This special dish which they cooked is pronounced paella, but it's pronounced, is written as paella, but it's pronounced paella. So, yeah, this is seafood paella, which is paella according, when you spell it. This is mixed of rice, seafood, prawns, everything. So this is your Spanish famous dish. Okay, mussels, clams, shrimp, all cooked with rice and chicken stock, everything. Okay, this is sangria mixed with wine and fruits. Very famous drink. Again, it's a red wine, so you will pour it in a wine glass. They use these glasses sometimes, but it's generally made in a jar like this. They come and leave the jar at your table with the wine glasses, and you're supposed to have it with the wine glasses like this. These are decorations which you have to do with every drink. When it is a sweet drink, anything sweet, you have to decorate it with an orange. If it is not a sweet drink, then we put lemon. So this is how it is. It is not called decorations, it's called garnishing. That is the right word, but just for your knowledge, I'm just so this is Spanish. Now we come to Japanese cuisine. Very peculiar, but there are a lot of Japanese restaurants today in India, and people in India seem to love Japanese cuisine. The most famous being sushi, which they make in a certain way and which they use raw fish for it. So we'll see that as well. Known for its seasonality of food aspect and quality of ingredients, the Japanese cuisine is rapidly becoming a trend worldwide. This has hardly any oil or any spice. They say that this is most healthiest cooking, but you have to acquire a taste for it. If you don't have the taste, you will not be able to eat it. Also, the Japanese believe in decorating the food beautifully so that it looks fantastic. So it is called eye appeal. They focus on eye appeal more than the plating of the meal, the placing of the meal, the look of the meal. So, yeah. With white rice, they use a rice a lot, and soya beans are the ingredients you should expect to find in almost any dish. According to Michelin Guide, Michelin restaurants are one of the best ranked restaurants in the world. If you get a Michelin star, that means it's one of the best restaurants in the entire world. So it's very difficult to get unless only the topmost people get it. According to Michelin Guide, that ranks cities worldwide for their restaurant, Tokyo is the most delicious city. Tokyo has many Michelin restaurants with 150 top ranked restaurants as opposed to Paris and London that have 148. So Tokyo is the topmost for Michelin restaurants. Next is Paris and London. Apart from its capital, it is fascinating to uncover the local cuisine throughout Japan. This is how their food looks. It's decorated very well. It's placed very well. These are sushi. This is raw fish and raw meat. You're supposed to dip it in the sauce and eat it. They generally give you green tea to drink with it, and green tea, they drink a lot of green tea throughout the meal. You're served green tea, or this is how it comes in a box. You're served green tea, or here again tea, or jasmine tea with it, or a white wine called sake, S-A-K-E, which is supposed to be served lukewarm. You're supposed to make it slightly warm and then give it to her. It's a rice wine made out of rice called sake. So this is your food. This is how it's decorated and placed. They give you your chopsticks. If you can eat with it, well and good. If you can't, it's fine. Their soups are like that. Again, you have green tea. This is their wholesome meal, a soup plus a meal itself. Sushi again, it is placed like this, decorated. This is rice. Generally, this is rice. This sesame seeds and all that. And inside you'll probably get veggies, meat, fish, They are mostly raw. Hold on a minute, please. Give me 2 minutes. Yeah, bolo. So this was Japanese food that I showed you. We go to next. Mexican cuisine. So Mexican cuisine is also very popular among the young crowd, so you should know a little bit about that as well. Known for its varied flavors and spices, Mexican cuisine is the Spanish conquistadors' interaction with Aztec culture. They have an Aztec culture, they had Spanish culture, so there's a lot of Spanish spoken in Mexico. Most of the people follow Spanish ways of life. Most of the Mexican food we eat today is a delicious combination of ancient tradition, Aztec, Mayan, and Spanish. These three people and cuisines are mixed together today in Mexico. The French also had their part in the story, adding baked goods such as sweetbreads and bolillo. Restaurants with good food usually have a look at bolillo, a lot of custom. You can going to eaten by its popularity of menus such as iguana, insects, rattlesnake, deer, and even spider monkey. They eat all this. This is like a lizard, insects, rattlesnake, you know what it is, deer is very common, and spider monkey. So this is what they eat there. You don't have to eat that, you can eat vegetarian, but this is their famous dish. We'll see, this is called tacos, Mexican tacos. They generally fill it for vegetarians with all some sauces and vegetables, and those who are non-vegetarians, they give you meat. So these are their tacos' most popular food. Taco looks like that, vegetarian. They also have, you must have heard of tortilla chips. Have you heard? A lot of people eat tortilla chips. These are, this roti is also called tortilla. It is not pronounced as tortilla, it is pronounced as tortilla. So tortilla, you get this chips which you youngsters may have seen this. When you go for the movies in the malls, you see this and you get with cheese dip, or you can get a tomato dip, anything. These are called tortilla chips, where people here say tortilla chips. It's not tortilla chips. There's also another of their famous dish called enchiladas. They also are baked like this, with you have sauces, vegetarian, you have some cheese sometimes, all this. This is typical Mexican food. Then next we come to the most famous Thai cuisine. This is the cuisine of Thailand, very, very close to what we serve Chinese in India. What we serve Chinese, when you eat Chinese, whether you eat it at the street food or you eat it in a restaurant, it is not authentic Chinese. Authentic Chinese you will not be able to eat. It has very strong flavors and it does not have our kind of taste, so it does not have spice, so you will not be able to eat Chinese food if you go to China. It is changed, suited to our taste. So it is something like Indo-Chinese food that we are served in India. It is catered more to our taste. Whereas Thai food is more closer to our taste. Very, very tasty. So in Thailand, in Bangkok, people go and eat the vegetarian and the non-vegetarian. Both meals are fantastic. Sorry. Many people say Thai food alone, with its balanced mix of hot, sour, bitter, and sweet. They have all these flavors in one. Is a good enough reason to visit the country. There are a lot of people who go to Thailand only to eat the food. I'm one of them. The foods are characterized by the use of fresh herbs and flavors such as lemon juice. They use a lot of lemongrass in their food. Lot of lemongrass and fresh coriander. Similar to many Asian cuisines, rice is the main component. Everything goes on with rice. There's no roti, there's no bread, nothing. They eat everything with rice. This is the main component in Thai foods. You will often come across nampla. It is nampla, they call it, not nampla, nampla. And it is a fish sauce, which it's a fish sauce which goes into every dish of theirs, so it enhances the flavor of the food. It's supposed to be very, very tasty. It's fermented fish sauce. They have shrimp paste out of small shrimp and noodles. If you're looking to get a kick out of your lunch, you should try the raw beef, fermented fish paste, and deep fried insect larvae, mostly present in the northeast. When eating insects is fairly common, you get a lot of insects also deep fried in Thai cuisine. I'll try to show you. You can, next time you go to Thailand, you can try that. This is their stir fried mostly with veggies and prawns and all. Fried rice, fish, spring rolls, prawns, noodles. This is the kind of thing. They give you these sauces with it, which are very, very spicy. They use the small chili called the bird chili, which is very spicy. And they give you fried garlic. They give you a fish sauce. You can add it to your meal and eat. Extremely tasty food. So, they have a very, very, probably many of you must have eaten it. They have Tom Yum soup, which is one of the most famous soups. It is made out of prawns, and it is one of the most tastiest soups ever. It's called Tom Yum soup, very, very famous Tom Yum soup. So if you go to Thailand, and there is nobody who comes back without having Tom Yum soup. So this is Thailand food for you. This is how they serve you on the carts. Okay? You can see. You can get everything. Fried cockroaches, fried larvae, fried beetles, all insects. They eat it. Yeah. No, I don't think I'm daring enough to try this, but I love Thai food. I love Thai food. I have eaten all kinds of Thai food except this. Except this I have eaten. But my daughter has. She ate scorpion. She ate scorpion. And she tried all this. She went on the cart and she tried, and I ran away. So it was horrible. But my daughter believes in trying all sort of food from every country. She eats raw food, fresh food. So she went and had this, and I ran away. Like sea cockroaches, they eat this. It's on in the Nile. They have this on the cards. See, I'm showing you this fancy food, right? And they sell it on carts like this. The carts are, in the night you'll see a lot of carts at the roadside when you go and eat, like you know, roadside you go and eat your meals. This is all served like this, okay? Now you can try when you go, you fly. It's a beautiful place. It's known for this food. It's one of the best foods, best tastiest food ever. And you can go and, if you are daring enough, you can go and try this. I am not so Italian, Chinese, right? I am Indian cuisine. I don't need to tell you anything about Indian cuisine. You know all there is to know. We mainly eat lamb, goat, and chicken and fish. We know all the flavors. You have the south flavor, east flavor, north flavor, the Punjabi, the Tamilian, the Maharashtrian flavor, the other side, the Orissa, Bengal flavor. You know all sides. So I won't explain that to you. Next, we come to Chinese. As I told you, authentic Chinese food you will not be able to eat. In what they serve in India is Indo-Chinese. It's a little bit of change. So originated in various parts of China and now spread throughout the world, Chinese cuisine is now eaten by a third of the world's population every day. Chinese cuisine is very famous whether it's in India or even if you go to America, London, UK, Europe, Australia, everywhere there is Chinese cuisine. People like it because it's light on the stomach. It is no oil, no masalas and all, so people like it that way. The cuisine is easy to create, easy to make, economical, tasty. Most of the food is prepared in bite-sized pieces because Chinese culture regards knives and forks as weapons. Every person at the table is given a bowl of rice, while the other dishes are shared by everyone. So they'll give you a small bowl of rice, each and every one, and the main dishes are put aside, and then you can eat what you can take it from the plate. So Chinese, every person at the table is given. Yeah, some dishes are cooked from endangered species like Siam moss, while others are meat. You would also want to avoid such as dog. They eat this as well. I'm not sure about the pronunciation of this. This is the moss they eat. They eat a lot of mushrooms. These are all black mushrooms. They eat this in their meal as well. Different types. This is authentic Chinese, which none of us will be able to eat. I mean, you may like it. Never know. I shouldn't be making judgments. Yes, you should. You may like it. Dog. We won't get into that, but some parts of China do eat dogs. We next come to Italian cuisine. One of the oldest in the world, the Italian cuisine, can be traced back to the 4th century BC. It is what is today, along with the discovery of the New World that brought potatoes, tomatoes, pepper and maize on the list of. And Italian meal means appetizer. Primo means the main dish, pasta or rice. Secondo, meat course, and dolce means dessert. Italy is also famous for over 400 kinds of cheese, including the famous, you get the Parmesan cheese. This is a full form of Parmesan cheese, and 300 types of sausages. This is Italian food. Most of it is pasta. This is spaghetti. This is spaghetti, which they eat with meat, or for vegetarians, with just tomato sauce. Generally, their meal consists of pasta or, I'll show you, you can see pasta. This is pasta, different kinds of pasta they use a lot of olive oil since olives are grown in plenty in Italy. So they use a lot of olive oils and they use a lot of garlic in their meals. This is spaghetti bolognese. This is pizzas. Pizzas come directly. Unlike our pizza, their pizzas are thin crusted pizzas. They don't have these fat pizzas that we have. They have a very thin crusted pizza. This is another of their dish, which is spelled as bruschetta, but it's pronounced as bruschetta. It's a toasted bread with veggies on top. It's available here also. This is their antipasta. Before the meal, starter. This is the main meal. Pizzas. I'm sure you all know pizza by now. This is Italian. Cheese also we need to learn, which are the French cheese, which are the Italian cheese. People will ask you, so you have to understand. These are the various kinds of cheese we get in Italy. All this different blue cheese. These are different cheeses. It comes like this. And which cheese goes with what, we need to learn further. When we do cheeses, we'll learn that. Then we come to the French cuisine. Starting with the Middle Ages that brought rich banquets to the French Revolution, where refined techniques were used. French cuisine can be called in the 21st century as a hot cuisine. It is the most popular cuisine, and everywhere in the world the French cuisine is supposed to be one of the topmost ones. It is as popular as the poetry of French arts or a meal at a restaurant, comparing to a sort of a theater you can eat. French meal goes into hours because they have to eat it course by course. Yesterday I had given you the list of the course of the meal. Do you all have that with you all? Salad, soup, main entree in the line I had given you all. You all had written it down. Do you all have it? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
So I've given you all, yeah, the whole French meal, how it goes, turn by turn. So, pastries are a large part of French cooking. Cheese also. We have a lot of cheese. Cheese and wine are a major part of the cuisine. They have a separate wine with separate starters, main meal, dessert. They have different kinds of wine. Perhaps being the most famous of all, the modern restaurant has its root in French culture, so restaurants are bountiful. So as per recommendation before deciding on one, in Paris alone there are over 5,000 places to eat with prices menu to suit everyone's taste. So cuisine of France, we have to learn that. There are certain common words that you will have to learn in French cuisine because they are worldwide known. French classical menu is 16 courses, but it ends with beverages such as tea and coffee. So it starts like that, hors d'oeuvres. I had given you the word yesterday to be pronounced as hors d'oeuvres and not this word, hors d'oeuvres. That's all appetizer. Potage, that is soup. Oeuf means egg. Pasta and rice. This word is wrong. Make it Poisson. Poisson, which means fish. So place the I here. Entree meaning the first meat course. Sorbet, the rest of the course. The second meat course is relief. Roast dishes are called roti. Legumes are the vegetables. You have salad. Buffet froid, froid means cold. It's pronounced as froid. Fromage, R is silent. Fromage means cheese. Entremets, sweets. Savories, desserts, fruits and nuts, tea, coffee. It goes like this, 16 course meal. It's in a restaurant. But if you eat in the aircraft, then they give you hors d'oeuvres, soup, salad, main entree, and dessert, tea, coffee, fruits, nuts, tea, coffee. This is good. The second round is also there, but mainly in short, I have given you what we serve in the aircraft. Hors d'oeuvres. These are food items served before the main course of the meal. If there is an extended period between when the guest arrives and the meal is served, for example during cocktail hour, these might also serve the purpose of sustaining guests during the. So you can all, when people generally come, they start with a drink and there is still time for dinner. So you could start with the hors d'oeuvres with the drinks so as to give them some time. Same thing like we eat starters here. In the same way, aperitifs are served as drinks before meals. Hors d'oeuvres are sometimes served with no meal afterwards. Sometimes it's just cocktails and hors d'oeuvres and no meal. So you have a lot of parties which just give you cocktails and snacks. They don't have the main meal, so it is the same thing. This is the case with many reception and cocktail party events. Hors d'oeuvres may be served at a table as a part of sit-down meal, or they may be served before sitting at the table. They could either keep it in the center on a table and you can go and pick it, or they can give it to you individually. Hors d'oeuvres prior to the meal are either stationary or passed. Stationary hors d'oeuvres are also referred to as table hors d'oeuvres. They may just keep it in the middle in 2-3 tables in the party. They may keep it where you can go and help yourself. So it could be that, or they could give it to you individually. Passed hors d'oeuvres are referred to as a butler style or the butlered hors d'oeuvre. Cookery, the art, the definition. They will ask you what are hors d'oeuvres in the exam. They will ask you what is the definition of cookery. The art, studying and practice of cooking. Hors d'oeuvres are small food items served before the main course of the meal, something like a starter. You have to. Then we come to this term. Many of you pronounce it as buffet. It's not pronounced like that, it's pronounced as buffet. The buffet is a system of serving meals in which food is placed in a public area where the diners generally serve themselves. This is your definition of a buffet till here. It is a popular method for feeding a large number of people with minimal staff. So when you don't have too much staff, the best way is to put a buffet table and ask people to help themselves. Buffets are ordered at various places, including hotels, many social events. Sideboards are also known as buffet. They may be used to offer dishes of a buffet. They may keep it on the side also where you're sitting, or they may keep it on the main place also. Okay? One form of buffet is to have a table filled with plates containing food portions, fixed portions of food. Customers select plates containing whatever items they want as they walk along. So they keep the plates at the side, then you walk around the buffet, helping yourself to whatever you want. Okay. So this form is mainly seen in cafeterias. A variation occurs in the dim sum house. Dim sum house is a place where you are served dim sums, meaning something like your momos. You must have eaten momos. It's a similar in China. It's called dim sum. So dim sum house where patrons make their selections from a wheeled trolley containing plates of food that circulates throughout the restaurant. They may put the dim sums on a trolley and they may move the trolley all around with plates so you can take whatever you like. Another derivative of this type of buffet occurs when patrons choose their food from a buffet style layout and then pay based on what was chosen. Some restaurants charge you according to the things you have eaten. Mostly buffets have a standard price for the buffet, whether you eat veg and you don't eat veg, whatever you don't have soup, you don't have salad, depends, but you have to pay a standard fare. So most of them are like that, but this could be a system also abroad. Another form known as all-you-can-eat buffet, which is generally in India, and the people who love to eat go to eat only, is the more free form. Customers pay a fixed fee and then help themselves to as much food as they wish to eat in a single meal. So it's like paying 500 for a buffet or 600 and eat whatever you like. Mostly in India, those are things that work. You also see buffet in weddings and functions also. This form is often found in restaurants, especially in hotels. A third type of buffet commonly offered is delicatessen and supermarkets is a salad bar. In abroad, when you go to it's called the delis, I'll show you the shops, where you can get bread, milk, juice, something. They are open 24/7 and you can go and buy a small snack or a sandwich to eat if you're hungry in the night and you want a bite. They also, during the daytime, have a buffet for a salad. People abroad who are working like to eat just salads because it's light and then you don't feel sleepy in the office. So they prefer having salads as their main meal. The salad, when you say salad, it is not only vegetables, it could be vegetarian also. But they add meat to it also and make it one full meal. So we will see that as well. Salad bar. Mostly the supermarkets are huge and they have salad bars there, in which customers help themselves to lettuce and other salad ingredients and then pay by weight. There, how your charge is, you put whatever you want in your salad bowl. It's a metal, tin casserole. You put whatever you want, and then by weight they charge you, not by the items. A fourth type of buffet is associated with celebration of some sort. So let's try and see if we can see. These are your dim sums, like momos. It's called dim sum in China. They're served like this in baskets. They're steamed, so you get served in baskets. These are your supermarkets abroad. You have a salad. This is cheese. They serve meat, cooked salads, You have these fridges, you have the wine, this is your typical supermarket. You have pastries, biscuits, your cheese, this is a delicatessen. You have all sweet dishes, it's a short form, it's called deli there. Again, cheeses, different types of cheese, you can go and select and you can buy. Cheese, big cheeses you can see here, huge chunks, you can buy any of them. These are generally kept like this in India, where we serve ourselves. Okay. This is pastries, you can, again buffet system. Okay, so I'm sure you know this. So today it's all food. I'm sure it makes you hungry and sleepy. So bear with me for a little while. Okay. Choosing wine and alcoholic consumption. Ordering wine in a restaurant can be a very daunting, difficult task if you don't know a great deal about subject. Wine is a very difficult subject. It's in India we don't have much of the wine culture, but abroad they have a lot of wine culture, and you must really know your wines if you want to serve. They do people who learn do serve wines learn about the wines. You have to do a course in wine. You have to understand the wine. You have to understand how it is made, where it is made, how many years it's kept, how is the cooling period for it, how is the temperature required for it, and what are the meals that go with it. It's a very vast subject. Even if we don't deal with wines, the basic knowledge we need to know. So ordering wine in a restaurant, asking a waiter or sommelier means a wine steward. Somebody who has studied wine is called a sommelier. Persistent can even make you more uncomfortable, especially if you're trying to make the right impression with your guests. If you are reluctant to tell the waiter your price range, it is helpful to communicate the information non-verbally by pointing to the bottle on the wine list that is your range. Wines can go from say 100 to 100 to many thousands of rupees, depending on the quality in the area and the year of the vintage. It can go when the grapes it was the best season of the grapes, that is the vintage year, it can go to that. Now if you don't have that much knowledge, you can communicate to him a certain range of a bottle and tell him you want something like that, and they will help you get the wine. So wine, but basic, you have to understand the basics of wine is that white wine goes with white meat and red wine goes with red meat, generally. There are 4 types of wine. One are the table wines that you drink on the table with your food. There are strong wines called fortified wines, means strong wine. Fortified wines means strong wines. You also have fruity wines. You have flavored wines, all different kinds of wines. Okay? We have all been there, something goes wrong, and the question is, how do we deal with it? If you're hosting a party and one of your guests is dissatisfied, then the proper restaurant etiquette would be to call the waiter, or preferably the maitre d', and discreetly point out what is wrong and ask for it to be verified. So you can call the guy, the person in the wine steward or anybody, and ask him if your guests are not happy. Never get aggressive or loud, but instead make your request politely. Just tell them you're upset with it, you're not happy with the wine, and they will happily change it for you. Once the problem has been rectified, change again, check again with your guest. Now they are happy. Now we are going to come to food, and these are different types of foods which I'm not going to, excuse me for a minute, they have given you how to make these salads. You can read it and you can understand it, you can make it. Only the difficult words I'll go over with you. Is that okay? And instead I'll give you something to write which is not part of this but part of airline course. Okay? Will somebody answer me, please?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So bacon salads, you know what a bacon is? Yeah. Yes? Hello? Yes? Somebody wanted to say something?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Bacon salad, you know what a bacon is, right? It's part of the pork or pig, as you, and it is generally deep fried. It is cut into slices, and it's generally deep fried and given with eaten with a breakfast. It's also used in salads. It's fried like this. It's eaten with your breakfast, and these are called rashers of bacon. Bacon rashers. So if you ask for bacon rashers, you will get this. Okay? So these are bacon, mainly goes for breakfast. They break this and put it in salads. It could be a bacon and apple salad mixed with vegetables, meat, nuts. You can add anything to the salad. Same bacon and chicken liver salad, bacon and spinach salad. You can use anything for salad. So what are the ingredients that go? You can read it for yourself when you have free time. Please do read it. Bacon, you know. Avocado, do you know avocado? You get a lot of avocado.
Yes, ma'am.
Nowadays, you know the green
Yes,
color
ma'am.
food. Anybody doesn't know, I'll just show you. Avocado is used in a lot of Mexican meals. They make a very famous dip of it, which is available in all the bars. This is avocado. This is a tasteless food, but very, very healthy and very, very nice. So you have to acquire this. They take this white part of it and they make a salad called a dip called guacamole. Most of the time, they will give it to you with chips. They will give it to you as a dip. This made out of avocado. It's called guacamole. Very, very famous. I mean, all the bars mostly serve it abroad. So when you say guacamole, this is what you get. Okay? Avocado salad. So this is egg and bacon salad. We won't come to this. Then you have cheese salads. Cottage cheese means paneer. You know that. Avocado, you know. Peach, you know. Gruyere is again a French cheese. They put the French cheese, they use walnut and they use grape in that salad. You also, goat cheese is very, very famous for salads and very, very tasty. It's salty, it's very nice. Mozzarella is the same cheese that goes on our pizzas. Again, children, it's not pizza, it's pizza. It's pronounced as pizza. When you pronounce it, you will pronounce it P-E-E-T-Z-A. And when you write P-I-Z-Z-A. So it's pizza. Okay, so when you go abroad, if you say pizza, nobody will serve you. Say, I like pizza. So mozzarella is the cheese that goes, the sticky one will become sticky on your pizza is mozzarella cheese. You also have Roquefort cheese. These are many cheeses. This is a blue color cheese. Very sharp in flavor, very smelly. Not many people can eat it. You have feta cheese, very common nowadays in India. If you go to any supermarket, you get feta cheese. Feta cheese is again made out of cow milk goat milk, and it is very salty, but it is used for salads only. Feta cheese. High in calcium and vitamin A, also very important. Okay. Then you have watercress salad with Stilton dressing. Stilton is again a cheese. Watercress is what I would like to show you. Watercress. Some sort of leaves. I have not seen it here, but you get it abroad. There's a lot of this in our salads. You get a lot of this in the salads. This is watercress. Then you come to Cajun. Cajun is a sort of a South American cuisine. It's called Cajun chicken. It's a different flavor in South America called the Cajun chicken. So you can get Cajun chicken salad, you can get chicken goat cheese, you can get Chinese chicken salad, any of this. Write down the word Cajun and write South American flavor. South American flavor. Just write on your books. Did you write that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. One person just keep your mic on. Feta cheese. This is feta cheese. White salty Greek cheese made from the milk of ewes or goats. Please write this where my cursor is. Milk of goats. This is a sheep. Sheep. So write this down. Feta, salty Greek cheese made from milk of ewe or goat. Used in salads. Used mainly in salads. Write the names: Gruyere, mozzarella, Roquefort, feta. Write all of them. And tomorrow your homework is to find out what kind of a cheese it is, what it looks like, and from which country. Got it?
Ma'am, can you repeat again?
Yeah, I'll repeat one. Maybe I'll just show you the thing. Okay. We started from more bacon salads, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. So your cheeses, under cheese, write Gruyere. See my cursor, Gruyere. Write mozzarella. Write Roquefort.
Ma'am, can you repeat again?
Gruyere, Gruyere. Can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
You can see my cursor, right? On the word Gruyere.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so Gruyere you write. All cheeses. Mozzarella you write. Roquefort you write it. And you write feta. And then you write Stilton. Write their homework. Find all information about this cheese, which country it comes from, how does it look, what is it supposed to be eaten with generally as a salad or as a starter, or which wine goes with it. Google and find out. Okay? And take one more. Write Parmesan. Parmesan. Got it? Parmesan. One more. Cheddar. 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 How many cheeses is that? How many did I give you?
8, ma'am.
8. I give you 8, right?
Sorry, ma'am, it's 7.
7. Okay, I'll give you 10. Just write one more. Famous ones I'm giving you only. Write Emmenthal. 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 8 हो गया? I have to give you 2 more. I'll give you 2 more in the course of time. So we have come to salads. Finished. Cajun style. Have you written that Cajun is a South American style?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then lemon chicken salad. Again, lemon and chicken, marinated cashew salad with cashews. You can just read whatever. In this, we have two words, two, three words that is thyme. Can you see thyme?
Yes, ma'am.
It's a herb mainly used in Italian dishes, and it is also used for your pastas and everything. So it's a very common this. So right herb used in Italian dishes, thyme. Then you have marinated chicken. Um, Tarragon is also a herb. Tarragon. You have chicken liver salad. You have stir fried. All these are common. These how they are made. It's for you to read. Write the word shallots. Can you see here? Shallots means small pearl onions. Are you all done?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then we have grain salads. The most famous being bulgur wheat. Bulgur wheat is a wheat that different kinds of wheat are taken and they are smashed, and the, the top is removed and the insides are eaten as cereals or used in pastas, salads, and so bulgur wheat is very common. Then you have coconut couscous salad. Couscous is a very common thing eaten. It's made out of beaten corn, and it's supposed to be very healthy, especially for people who are building up their body. They eat a lot of couscous. Okay, it is high in carbohydrates and fiber. So I give you the exact this of couscous. Very, very famous now for people who are doing bodybuilding. A type of North African semolina means like suji. You know your upma ka suji, like that. A type of North African semolina granules made from crushed wheat or corn.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, this is couscous. Okay, you can either eat it as a pasta or you can eat it as a porridge. Anyhow, it's supposed to be one of the most healthiest foods. So that is your couscous. Bulgur wheat, I already, did I show you bulgur wheat? I'm sorry, this is not opening, but you can see this, right? This is bulgur wheat. Next we come to the word cracked wheat and fennel. Fennel is saunf. You know what is saunf in Hindi? I don't know what you call it otherwise. So you have brown rice salad. A lot of people eat brown rice. You know, red rice, brown rice, what you get in South India. Also, you have Moroccan style couscous salad, again rice and prawn salad, Swiss cheese and cherry tomato. You know what's a cherry tomato? This is a cherry tomato, small ones. They are very small, bite size. This is quite big, they are very, very small. Like this. Very small tomatoes. Then we have 5 more minutes, so we can just do the greens. Green salads, everybody knows this salad. We use it at home, so I won't go through that, except I give you this cheese, Parmesan cheese. You have to find. What are croutons? Do you know what are croutons? Croutons are small pieces of fried toast that they put in your soup. You must learn when you are doing these subjects, we are training you to become good in food and hospitality. So please learn to use the right words. If you use it when you are eating it, you will know it. So these are fried ones. And they're just fried pieces of toast which are put in your soup. They are called croutons. Then we do you know what is a salad dressing? A salad dressing is something that we put on the salad to dress it. It could be salt, pepper, lemon juice, olive oil, mayonnaise, anything. This is like this when in the English and French cooking they have a mixture of olive oil and mayo and all different types of dressings. They are called salad dressing. Everybody who eats salad always eats with a dressing. So croutons are fried small pieces of fried bread or toast used in soups. Write it down. If I have time, I will do the breads and the cheese with you, though it's not part of this, I will still do it with you. But right now, you can write what is there. Chia butter bread is one of the very famous breads also that I'll do when the breads come or when we come across. So we have salad leaves such as cos lettuce, baby spinach, rocket, endives, watercress, lamb's lettuce. All these are leafy green vegetables of different types. You can Google them and find out each picture of each of these leaves, so you'll get an idea. Parsley is something like coriander. Chives are small, like chana. I show you chives. This is also a lot in the ekra food in the first class. These are a type. Sorry, my mistake. Those are not the ones like chana are not chives. I'm sorry. That is I can't get the name. Just wait. So this is something like spring onions only, but chives it's different. Okay. Then you come to Italian green salad with mozzarella. We've already done that. So lemon mustard salad leaves. Please find out all about these salad leaves. This write it down so that you don't have to open this. You can just Google it. Write cos lettuce, baby spinach, rocket. Write this whole line till tar. Tar means tarragon. Are you writing it? Will somebody answer me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. Write it and find out what it is. I'll ask you tomorrow what it is. So this is your homework only. Cheese and these items you must find out, Google and tell me what it is.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So we have come. Is Veena there today?
Yes, ma'am.
What happened? Culture tea?
No, I went hospital, ma'am.
What happened to you?
No.
Are you?
I had this appointment with my dermatologist. That's all.
Okay. That's fine. Just so long as you're good, because these are hospital bills, everybody just jumps. So, yeah. So you missed yesterday's class, no?
Yes, ma'am. I got the notes, ma'am.
You got the notes, no? Okay. So, what would can you read to me? We'll stop here at pasta salads, okay? Just remind me tomorrow that I've stopped at pasta salads. Tell me what I've asked you to find out.
Okay. Today, ma'am.
Yes.
It's first about cheese. 8 types of cheese is there. We have to
How
find
many I
out
give you? 8, no?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll try to give you one more, 2 more. Yeah, read to me.
Yes, ma'am. It's Gruyere, mozzarella,
Gruyere. Say Gruyere. Yeah. Yes.
mozzarella,
Mozzarella. Yes. Then,
cheddar,
correct.
parmesan,
Parmesan. Hmm. Then,
roquefort,
Roquefort, correct.
feta,
Feta, correct.
stilton, emmental.
Emmental. Okay, so that how many it makes it?
8, ma'am.
Okay. I'm stopping this. Okay. Take one more. Take that. Oh, I hate this. Take this. Okay,
It's Goda.
Goda, and it's camembert, not bird. Camembert. One. Is it 10 now? Have I given you 10?
Camembert.
Have I given you 10? One more? One more? Okay, okay. B.
Breathe.
Brie.
Most of them will be French, one or will be different. I'll give you the others later. And what are the words I gave you to find out?
Ma'am,
In
la-
food?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
In food, what did I say?
Wait, ma'am.
Spell it for me.
Tile.
Thyme,
Then tarragon.
tarragon, correct.
Shallots.
Shallots,
Then
Three.
couscous.
couscous.
Couscous. Yes.
Ah.
Then
Four.
then Cajun, South American
Cajun.
flavor.
Cajun. Yeah, you
Cajun.
pronounce it like this.
Okay.
Cajun. Okay. Next.
Then croutons.
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 Yes, ma'am.
Croutons. Okay.
Then it was that big paragraph.
What was it? What did I give you? Okay, doesn't matter. Big paragraph. What paragraph did I give you?
No paragraph, ma'am. Last, you were actually asked to write that line, right? That
No, that is whatever I gave you, no?
Yeah.
Find out everything about this and about the cheeses. You'll find out the country first,
Okay.
where it is made, what it is made out of, how is the texture, what is the taste, everything you'll find out. Of all these 10, that's your homework. Okay?
yes, ma'am.
And I'll see you tomorrow again with this and we'll continue. Also keep your papers and pens ready because if I finish this chapter a little early, then I would like to give you some extra thing from my notes. Some extra words that you would need if you are in the airline. If you are in the airline, because in the first class you serve everything of this, what I have said today, everything you serve. So I will be giving you some more from my notes also extra to your notes. So bring a paper and pen and we will give you certain glossary items I'll give you tomorrow after I finish this module. Okay?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
see you
Okay, ma'am.
tomorrow. Have a nice evening. Enjoy yourself. Be good. Study.
Thank
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye bye. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye bye. Welcome. 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 And please put your cameras tomorrow. I like to see your faces. Thank you.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.